I'm just so curious. Everybody talks about how much power this bike has, and I don't know. I always psych myself out when I hear stuff like that because I'm like, my bike has a lot of power, but it's not uncontrollable. And when they talk about how much power it has, it makes it sound like it's uncontrollable. But then I realized that a lot of them that ride these bikes for the first time have, one, never ridden a naked bike, so they're not used to the torque, and two, they're coming off of a 600cc motorcycle. Which, I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying they're different speeds. I mean, honestly, I had full expectations of wanting, or just falling in love with this bike.
Yeah.
And you know, obsessing over it and you know, thinking, oh, I could trade the Z, blah blah blah. Yeah, let's park over here.
Hey, there's that one guy's bike I see all the time. The silver with the red flames.
Yeah, that's Ray. That's the one that told me that they were pretty crowded.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Maxim Motorsports, we're doing the Yamaha demo days. We're going to try to ride the FZ10, and you're going to try to ride the R1? Word.
Is anybody on the FZ10? Okay, so yeah, B40 is wet weather.
All right, here we go. FZ10. Okay, so I want to go B mode. There we go.
But even though these are capable of it, we don't.
Oh yeah.
Do we just look like those type of people?
Well, I know, when they said no wheelies, everybody turned and pointed at me. I was like, what the hell? I can't wheelie anyway. Oh, that's so awkward. It's weird that the whole front end doesn't turn. Whoa, the clutch is way out there too. Could take some getting used to.
Yeah, this one too.
Well, my initial impression just from the short little ride here is it does not feel quite as sturdy as my Z1000. And even when I rev it, it just feels very dinky. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. I mean, the bike itself looks very cool, but I don't, it feels cheap to me compared to my bike. Alright, let's see. Oh, it does have a gear indicator. Like, the bike itself does not feel very well put together, and the throttle is extremely twitchy in the sport mode. Like, I've heard people complain that the Z1000 has a twitchy throttle, but this thing is extremely twitchy. Yeah, these mirrors are a little funky. I mean, they're stock mirrors. I'm looking at my elbows. Standing still, I can stand flat-footed, but I'm of course 6'5", but there's a lot of pressure on the inside of my thighs. Like, even my Z1000, before I had the exhaust done, I could hit the throttle, blip the throttle, and you could hear the intake, you could hear the exhaust.
Yeah.
This thing is all engine that you hear, and it just sounds dinky. He said one of the guys that rode the FZ10 said it was too much bike for him. I said, too much bike? Did he have a vagina? Yeah, the shifting, like the clutch, or the shifting mechanism feels, it's a very odd placement, I guess. I don't know, it feels like it's, and it might just be a Yamaha thing. I don't know, this is the first Yamaha I've ever ridden, but like, I don't know, I don't feel very aggressive on this bike at all. At all. Now I do feel like I have a lot less engine braking than on my bike. I'm in second gear at 46 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour, and I don't feel like there's near as much engine braking. So it's not keeping me from just cruising in second or third gear at 40 or 50 miles an hour.
And it's so quiet, it sounds like I'm on an electric bike.
Yeah, I've got plenty of room, and I'm very comfortable. The seat's not great. I mean, it feels more like a sport bike seat. No, this guy was coming over in my lane. Like the seat feels bigger, like wider than my Z1000, but it's harder. My Z1000 kind of has like a gel, the stock seat has like a gel feel to it, and this doesn't feel like it's got that in there. It's so twitchy. I can't believe how twitchy it is, though.
Like when you come on the throttle, it's just like...
No, when I'm just trying to maintain a constant speed, just by holding the throttle, I mean, it just bam, bam. If I move the throttle a little bit, oh yeah, I just feel like I'm twisting the throttle the same way as I do on my bike, and it's not responding near the same. I mean, honestly, I had full expectations of wanting or just falling in love with this bike.
Yeah.
And obsessing over it and thinking, oh, I could trade the Z, blah blah blah, but there's no way I would do it.
No way you trade the Z?
No. Not for this. It has a lot less engine braking, which I do like that. Plus, she's not really letting us open it up very much. But, oh my god, it's so twitchy. I'm gonna try a different mode. Okay, I'm in standard mode.
I can't switch mode.
Now the standard mode, of course, is detuned, so it's not near as twitchy. This feels more like my bike does. It looks like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh crap, that's pretty cool. It's got a little outlet plug for your USB plug, or like your phone charger, the thing you plug into your cigarette lighter thing. It's got one of those. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to okay, I'm in like the lowest, or the second to highest mode A. Okay, alright. So maybe I just didn't like the A mode or B mode, which is supposed to be the fastest mode, or the least restrictive mode. It's just so twitchy. But I don't know, this A mode's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in the sport mode. Give this another shot. I don't like this sport mode at all, though. I mean, it is way too twitchy. He's letting her go. Oh, golly, man, this thing is like...
Yeah, I just had a blinker on the entire time. How can you be worse than me on a blinker?
I don't know, I'm kind of hanging back so I can What happened? And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's powerful. And it might be because we're restricted behind what we can and can't do, but I don't know. I'm surprisingly unimpressed. Come on, lady. Okay. Yeah, I would like to take this out to where we could ride it on our own without a guide.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can feel that it's got power. Yeah, I mean, I can feel it. It's just so freaking twitchy.
Like right here, I need to be going to 80.
Yeah, I got 51.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like this bike would have a whole lot more top end than my bike.
Yeah. It's weird, like I'm going 50 in second gear and I feel like I need to shift down into first.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel here.
Does it just rock?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. It feels a little dinky, kind of, I don't know. I'm still trying to feel it out. It just feels dinky a little bit, but it's got some power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can honestly say that I am not thinking about getting rid of my bike for this. Not one bit. Yeah, the modes, I don't understand why they did standard is the lowest, or yeah, standard is the lowest, and then A is the mid, and then B is the highest. I think that's the way it is, but I don't know, it doesn't make sense. A mode should be the highest, and it should default, like your bike, your Suzuki defaults to A mode. I know it's just a 600, but still, this thing is stupid twitchy. I don't like this at all. Gear indicator, speedometer, temperature. I'm guessing that's the time. Oh no, that's the odometer. It's got the mode, fuel gauge. Oh, and there's the time up there. And it's got all kinds of lights. Well, I'm glad I did it, and I can honestly say there's no way I would ever consider buying one. Not from this ride. And people were like, "Does that thing rock?" And I was like, I don't know. Let's turn. How do you turn your brights on? Yeah, see, it looks good. It looks killer, but very unimpressed. So there it is, FZ10. I think I've expressed how I feel about it. Yeah, see, this bike just feels so much better. And I don't think it's because that's what I'm used to. I think it's just, it feels like a better quality bike. And not near as twitchy. Yeah, have a little fun with it. Open it up.